So one of the things that I want to talk about is, of course, the creation of the podcast.
Yes.
And then jump into some other topics. One of the topics being, I was trying to get it online so that I can on Instagram, but there's, I guess she's some celebrity star, a celebrity reality star. I don't know who she is actually. But apparently she was going to be on the Dr. Phil show.
Okay.
And she has a transgender daughter. And so it was supposed to be a kumbaya moment for them on Dr. Phil that night.
Left.
Well, off the rails.
Okay.
And I mean, she just spewed these transphobic remarks on this tirade. She went on Twitter and threatened the transgender person, the I guess the life coach or whatever, trying to educate her on, you know, what the obstacles and the hindrances and the issues.
And I just went live too.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And let me see if you could join there. Hey guys. So yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I was trying to get her tirade because her tirade was, oh my God.
Wow. So it actually made it to air?
No.
Oh, okay.
She was leaving the studio.
Got it. Okay.
And telling people, hey, when you see this, it's going to be off the chain.
Oh,
and,
Lord.
You know, then she went on from there. Called misgendering the transgender life coach, I guess. Misgendering her son.
Okay.
Problematic.
Hey, Obi. Hey, Core. Hey, Mike. So I'm at WERUradio in Atlanta. And we'll be talking about Minority Report and then the latest hot topics. Okay, that's it. All right, I see you joined.
So see you on.
Let's see if I could click on you.
Yeah, I just have to click the request to join.
Okay.
I'll do it in a minute.
Perfect.
I want to find that story.
Hopefully you all are having a good day out there. And just a reminder, Minority Report turns 2 this weekend. So we have the wig party at 8 p.m. Eastern. So the link will be in our bio.
And there's some more there too.
Okay, appreciate that. Oh, I like those Barbies.
Thank you.
That's everything.
Yes. I'm a secret lover of them. I was like, what can I do it without being completely judged?
Right.
Use them as decor, yeah. Decor.
Here for it.
Yeah, we've been here.
I was just about to ask
Filled
that.
in February of last year. So
Okay.
a little over a year. But the station has been around since 2018.
Okay.
And one of the reasons that we came into being, kind of like you,
Yeah.
I was looking for a playlist for Pride, one that resembled us.
Right.
And, you know, the urban part of it. And I was looking at all these Pride lists, and I was like, of course there was Madonna and Cher and all of these others, which no slight to
Exactly.
them.
Right.
But I was like, where's Missy and Mary J. Blige
That
and
part.
Mariah and
That
Donna Summer and Donna, where are they?
Yeah.
So I decided to create my own playlist, and as I was looking, I started discovering all these LGBTQ artists, fierce, badass LGBTQ artists that I never heard of before.
Right.
That never play on mainstream radio. So I was like, you know what? I've worked in radio.
Right.
I'm gonna do this.
It's like, I got this.
So I created this.
Here for it.
You know, which combines R&B, hip hop, and house music.
Okay.
So in that, you know, the LGBTQ artists are R&B and hip hop artists. So
Do you get people like submitting tracks and things like that as well?
We have. One of my main issues was I was trying to get people to submit edited versions of their songs because I want to take this mainstream.
Exactly.
And you know, I get it. You want to be real.
Yeah.
I get it. It's part of the culture.
Exactly.
Keep it real.
Right.
But at the same time, when you're talking mainstream,
you gotta
get an edited version that can play while people are in their offices or on their jobs, you know, at school, whatever.
Exactly.
So that was an issue, but we found a way. We found somebody that can edit the song. So now it's not even hindrance.
Exactly. Oh, that's good.
It's been real. It's been fun so far.
It's good to hear. Let's see, how do I pin?
All right, one more song.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Is it echoing? Do we have echo?
Like I'm frozen on my screen.
Oh, hey. My phone.
Support. Let our friendly staff at Grade Potential Tutoring answer all your questions and explain how we can help your child.
Good morning.
Good morning. We will match you with the perfect tutor to help your child succeed. We also tutor all college classes. We can help with all your tutoring needs. So call right now for your free, no obligation tutoring consultation.
13 seconds. There we go. We'll be live.
498-8618. 800-498-8618. Again, that's 800-498-8618.
It is the We Are You Morning Crew, and I am George Daigle, firing off all the wrong buttons this morning. I tell you what, but we are working it out. I am in the studio live today with one of the members of a great podcast and YouTube channel. If you have not had a chance to watch it and or listen to it, then you should be ashamed of yourself. But you'll have the opportunity to do it real soon. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Kerel Revis.
You got it.
Thank you. It was a little bit of a tongue twister. I tell you, when you're pushing every button all at one time, and it's your responsibility, you kind of just go with it.
I'm here for it.
But thank you so much for being here for this hour that we are sharing together. So let's first of all talk about the Minoritea. That's how I say it. Minority report and how that all came into being.
Yeah, so a couple years, and actually this weekend we're celebrating our second anniversary.
Congratulations.
It's our anniversary.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Right, it's like a little Tony. But yeah, so 2 years ago, and actually a little longer than that, I've always wanted to do a podcast, A. But B, just looking at the podcast landscape and just really the media landscape, I was finding there wasn't true representation or showing the full spectrum of a gay Black man and people of color. It's either this hyper femme moment or this super quote unquote masculine moment.
And they're all valid.
And it's all valid.
Right.
But I was like, okay, where's the spectrum? It's like, yeah, you might be femme this moment and mask this moment, but where's the in between?
Right.
And where are these conversations that we have every day with our friends? So it started there. And then I'm like, okay, who do I always have deep relationships and conversations with every time I get with? And I was like, my friend Dewan. Okay, I was like, okay, let me reach out to see if he would join on this journey with me. And he was like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. And then when we were starting to talk, I was like, okay, he and I could get a little long-winded. I was like, who in our group is going? Exactly, we need the one that's just going to pop off a little bit. Just tell it like it is, and it is what it is. And I was like, Jarrell, there we go. And so that's literally how it started. And Minority Report was the name, and we're like, let's just throw ourselves out there. Let's keep it going, because like you can start to overthink things too. To like, I kind of want to do a podcast, but maybe 2-3 years down the line, you're like, I still haven't done anything.
Right.
So we're like, let's just go all the way in, and we'll learn along the way. We might have hiccups along the way, but it is what it is, and it's just showing our true selves, our authentic selves. So we talk about everything from politics, especially this last year.
Wow.
Wow. Black Lives Matter, to Beyonce, and more Beyonce.
Wait, one more Beyonce.
Beyonce and Blue Ivy.
Right.
But then just anything from relationships, because we actually, all three of us, even though we're three gay Black men, we're all in interracial relationships. So that's a whole nother dynamic of talking about that and just being your full Black self within that dynamic.
Let's pause right there, because you opened the door.
I know.
And I'm an interviewer. I pay attention. So as a Black gay man, especially during Black Lives Matter, what were those conversations like at home?
Luckily, and I think my husband is watching on Instagram Live right now, but it's an education moment for them, but also, luckily for me, he's willing to be like, let me just take a step back, because there are things that I don't know, because he's Greek and he's Lebanese. So there's even this Arab piece for him that he kind of understands a little bit, but it's just a whole nother level, especially the way last summer went. And so for him, it's been a learning moment in trying to even educate folks in his family. So it's been interesting. There's been moments, and there's been toes stepped on, because there's just things he doesn't know that he didn't have to deal with day in, day out. Wow. So, and it's quite honestly, we've been together almost 9 years. There's been moments where, honestly, we hadn't gotten to that deep of a conversation of how does Kerel deal with being Black all day, every day, and then layering on that gay aspect. So it's been an opportunity to educate, and tears shed, and a couple arguments here and there, but at the end of the day, at least in my relationship, and I do know for Dewan and Jarrell as well, that at least our partners are willing to listen and learn and grow. And vice versa, there's things that we can learn from them, from their perspective, that they've seen maybe from whatever maybe the media is putting out there as a stereotype as a Black person, things like that. So it's been quite interesting, but hey, that's what makes life fun.
So now, flipping that coin over, gotta ask the question.
Yes.
As a Black man in an interracial couple with Black friends, a Black family, Black co-workers, what has that conversation been like? And is there a conversation?
There's always a conversation, because just even culturally, there's moments that are a little different, and having to help him learn those situations that might be a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh no, don't say that, or don't do that, or don't, because it might come across in a way that you don't intend it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, my family has accepted him, and where I grew up too, and it's kind of a weird world where I grew up. Like, my parents are originally from Georgia, grew up in segregation, deep South.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to Iowa, then Michigan, to where it's like the flip opposite, where it's like where we grew up was like predominantly white.
Yeah.
But then both my parents, which is a whole another can of worms we're about to open, are pastors. So they could
you add just one more thing into the pie? Oh my God.
That's why Minority Report's here. Because all of these elements is like, these are just stories and situations that is my life that I was not hearing. Yeah. That is just like, yes, you have the religion piece. Yes, we have the black piece. Yes, we have the gay piece, and needed an outlet to talk about all of it.
Wow.
Because especially within black culture, sometimes things don't get talked about, don't get shared, because it's like this hidden wall. It's like, no, let's take these bricks down and let's dissect this. Because if I had a podcast like ours when I was young and trying to come out and understand myself, it would have made life, I would hope, a little bit easier.
Certainly.
So I guess going back to growing up, though, my parents raising us in a more predominantly white area, but then going to church where it's like all black people. It was always in my life this weird duality between religion and being gay, quote unquote, and for both sides of it, saying, okay, if I'm gay, can I have God in my life and things like that? But then like being black, but then growing up in a predominantly white area, but then on Sundays and Wednesdays and revivals and Thursday choir rehearsal, Friday choir rehearsal, being in the black world. So it's, throughout my life, has always been this duality, which I think has set me up for what I do in life now and happen to be in an interracial relationship. So I think I'm well suited, and I think my parents did a great job of not putting on their stuff on us, growing up in segregation and things like that, and allowing us to honestly experience the world and create relationships, no matter the skin type, no matter sometimes the sexuality and things like that. So
wow, you're really unpacking all these questions for me
early in the morning.
I didn't even have to write down a thing,
right?
But we got a couple of minutes, and I wanted to talk about this Angela Stanton situation. But I want to go back to religion.
Yes,
because that puts Donnie McClurkin on the table. We're gonna talk.
Come on, Donnie.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. But recently, Angela Stanton posted some really venomous statements on social media. I want to see if I can get this audio to pull up here for me this morning. Can you speak for me, Angela? Come on, baby. Come on, say something for me. Come on. She ain't trying to talk
this morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, while she's not, here we go.
Show was supposed to be about me and my son trying to find some type of resolution to figure out how to fix our relationship. The whole show ended up about me being a black Trump supporter with conservative values. Okay? Not only that, they brought on another training to try to tell me how to be a parent. First of all, sir, you don't even have children. You probably can't even you probably can't even have children, yet you want to tell me what I need to do in regards to my child. Dr. Phil didn't offer any solution to our problem whatsoever. People telling me, hey, go on Dr. Phil. He's going to help. Dr. Phil didn't offer not one solution. Wanted to quiet me down, gave the stage to his tranny friend, let them speak in regards to the transgender issue. I'm at Paramount. And did not let me have a voice. It wasn't nothing but a setup. I'm telling y'all right now, I showed my ass, okay? So when y'all see it, y'all already know I went completely in. Son, absolutely disrespectful. Talking about I'm going to die alone and all of this shit. Nigga, I'm married. I got a whole husband. I got 4 other children. Nothing about my son's mental illness whatsoever. Everything about me. I'm the bad parent because they can't force me to believe that my son is a woman. So I'm going to tell you this. Fuck Dr. Phil. Fuck his motherfucking wife. Fuck goddamn Paramount Studios. Fuck all you other crazy, dumbass son of a bitches that think a dick can somehow magically turn into a pussy. It's not motherfucking happening. That's the bottom line. I held it down. It was some ghetto ratchet shit, but I don't give a fuck because I'm standing on mine. At the end of the day, my son is a man. And the rest of y'all need to stand on your shit too. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what label these people.
Oh yeah, she goes on.
Wow.
Common sense is we know damn well a man cannot be a woman. Okay? If you were supposed to be a woman, you wouldn't have to go and have surgery to get teeth put on your breast. You would already be born with them. If you was a woman, you wouldn't be born with a dick. You wouldn't have to go get your dick cut off. Now, I'm gonna stick to common sense, okay? Listen, man, the show gonna be something else. It's the white car over there in the front. The show gonna be something else. Y'all forgive me. I show my ass.
Now, it's just that alone
That's
was
a lot.
offensive and hard to listen to. But then Ashley went on to say, look, you know, I was on Dr. Phil today, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to help this transgender girl, you know, get all the advantage she can. Angela was not having it. She gets on Twitter, and then she says, nigga, if I catch you anywhere near my children, I'll cut your dick off for you.
Wow.
She goes on to say, I dare you to play with me. I don't give a F about going to jail or prison. I will live, die, and kill about mine. You better go find you a little boy toy somewhere else. I don't give an F who sees this tweet. You gonna get what you looking for in this neck of the woods. Oh, but she's not done.
Oh, okay.
She then says, no threats were made, only promises.
Oh.
Now let me catch your big, overgrown, manly ass around my babies. So,
oh Lord,
this is so hard to even listen to, because here you have, ma'am, your mother, and I get it. A lot of parents are thrown into the death of their child, basically.
for sure.
Their son is dying, and they have a daughter, and
Right.
they can't wrap their head around that.
Right.
But I think there's a responsibility that at the end of it all, this is your child living her life in her true identity. You can't say things, or shouldn't. You can say whatever you want.
Right.
But you shouldn't say things that are detrimental to your child's well-being, because you heard her refer to her child having a mental issue.
Right.
And it is. It's dysphoria.
Right.
But any words? What
Oh
do you want
my
to say to that?
Lord. Where do I even begin? We need to check words.
Mhm.
Words matter.
Yeah.
Pronouns matter. So that's from jump. But B, how did she even get on this show then?
Right. Or
Like,
why?
Why? What was your intent of going on this show? Clearly, it was not to help your daughter,
Mhm.
because it sounds, based on like you popping off and all the Twitter rants and things like that, it almost feels like a 15-minute of fame kind of moment,
Yeah.
which I'm not here for. If you are this ride or die for your children, as you're saying, you would think you'd be a little more open-minded to what your daughter is now telling you.
or at least agree to disagree.
That part.
I'm going to allow you to live your life. I can't condone
Right.
because I don't understand.
Right. But educate yourself then.
Right.
Like,
Right.
especially if you were going to go on this show, you had time to educate yourself a little better, to make sure you weren't maybe thrown off course or whatever you were saying, thinking they were coming at you. No, if you educated yourself beforehand, you would have seen A, what Dr. Phil's show is all about, A,
Mhm.
and then B, be a little more open-minded to what they were going to present you.
Right.
Another part of me that's kind of rubbing me the wrong way, though, is Dr. Phil even like set up to help our community? So like, even like, I don't know the show, I don't
Yeah.
know what occurred,
Right.
but part of me is just like, is he even that knowledgeable? Yes, he maybe has the funds and the connections to find people to come on the show to help,
Mm-hmm.
but is that his expertise?
I'm with you on that. I think Dr. Phil is about the moment.
Yeah.
He's about the coverage. He's
Yeah.
about the numbers. He's about his face being a part of that. But I think if you, whatever the vehicle is that you're
Mhm.
being presented with, the tools that could help you
Right.
mend your relationship with your daughter and or
Absolutely.
get some education, you embrace that in whatever form it comes in, as long as
That
it-
is very true.
you know. And I think listening to this, she took it all as a personal affront to
Yeah.
everything she believes in.
It's very defensive.
Yeah.
And I just feel bad for the daughter now, just because this is more collateral damage and trauma on her life.
Yeah.
This is another triggering moment in her life that may take longer for her to fully realize who she is.
That's very unfortunate. And she wasn't done with her tirade.
Oh,
Are you
Lord,
ready
I
for the
can't
last
take
one?
it. What she got to say next?
She says, all the he bitches coming for me.
Oh, wait, what?
That's what she said.
I can't deal with her.
A
I can't.
whole-grown 6'4", 400-pound man wearing a wig, identifying as a woman online, publicly tweeting about his love and desire to mother my children is where I draw the line.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm the villain. She said, if I catch a sexual predator anywhere near my child, I'm not doing no talking. Now, the pièce de résistance, which you can have whatever, affiliation to whatever party you want to.
Okay.
But this was the clicker for me.
Okay.
Just let Trump free me in 2024
Lord help
when he's
us.
back in office.
Okay.
That explains.
Girl, bye.
She's got to miss this one. Girl,
right,
you crazy.
girl, you crazy.
You good and crazy.
Dr. Phil need to help your ass.
Right.
Sorry.
So, again, here we are. And in 2021, you see Zaya Wade and you see T.S. Madison, and you see all these transgender Laverne Cox and doggone it Pose. What's her name?
Angela Ross.
Yeah, Angelica Ross. Yeah, Angelica Ross. You see all of these public figures, and they tell you about this. All you got to do is put on YouTube.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
Literally, that's the part. It's just like we have no excuse to be uneducated.
Right.
Like even this, like a week or two ago, I had to check a friend of mine that's LGBTQIA plus community, works in the medical field, just because of terminology. And it's just like, we have to do better, like, especially within our community. If we're in it, we got to do better. But that way we can educate and help everyone else. Like, social media is such a gift and a curse sometimes, but there's no reason to be this uneducated. There's no reason.
And this publicly ignorant. Come on, girl. Now, there are private conversations that we all have.
Right.
There are things that we say.
Right.
But this wasn't the time.
And that's
sister.
not the forum. No.
Sis. Now you look like a crazy, tyrannical fool.
That part.
Homophobic, transphobic fool with a transgender daughter who probably now is probably even more damaged.
And life goes on tomorrow. Like, that's the thing I don't think she's thinking. Literally, after this dies down, you still have to deal with the relationship with your daughter.
And that's unfortunate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am in the studio with Kerel Revis and with the Minoritea Report. We'll be back with more sizzling subjects and trending topics. Good morning.
That was wild. Ooh,
that was good. That was good.
She said tranny.
What? More than one time.
Like that's
like
so disturbing.
That's so 1990s. Like, man.
Like, it's 2021.
Right. And I get it. I get it. There's a lot of our community.
Absolutely.
That really feels some type of way.
Yeah.
Like when little boozy badass went off.
That's a whole nother thing.
Sir, when you condone the rape of your own child, nothing you say is valid to me anymore.
Facts.
When you openly admit it,
facts.
Nothing you say. Nothing. You can tell me the way to get to $1 million tomorrow.
Exactly.
I'm not listening.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
a lot.
A lot.
And then now it's just building up this thing for that show. That's the thing. It's just like now everyone's going to tune in just to see how she pops off. And the kid is still hurt. The kid is still dealing with herself.
Right.
Like it's like the kid is so lost in this now.
And not you've also given validation and credence for other people who feel the way you do to talk directly to her because that's what they're going to do on social media. They're going to attack her. They're going to say what they think they want to say.
Oh, Lord.
Crazy.
That is a lot.
Well, I didn't say it was going to be easy for you.
No. I love it. These are the conversations we have. And
right.
We might have to bring this one up on the podcast. Like, that is wild.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I wasn't able to look at the screen to see who is in here.
Let's see.
But thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. And good morning.
Looks like my husband's in here. Hey, boo.
Hey, Kerel's husband.
And then Donald Jackson.
Yeah, Donald Jackson. I see him in there as well. Good morning to you.
Looks like people kind of popping in and out.
Yeah, popping in and out.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can hear Can you guys hear both sides?
Oh,
can
that
you
is
hear me
true.
talking?
Can you hear us out there? Corey, tell me.
Hey, Corey. Somebody's texting me, but I can't see your text because my phone is using the Instagram. So if you want to call me, you can call me at 678-839-9378. That's the station's number. and I could talk to you there.
Yep, it looks like they can hear us.
So now that we got through that very difficult one, what we got next?
I'm open for whatever. You know what? I was going to look and see what was trending on Twitter, but I forget I'm on.
I have another story. Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor as a Republican. Can we talk about how problematic this is?
Oh my God!
How very problematic.
Yes, let's talk about that because she rubs me the wrong way.
So many levels.
She's running for governor.
I'm on camera, so I can't say what I really want to say.
Caitlin, go sit down. Go sit down. Wow, as a Republican too. Which is not shocking.
Well, if you look at as a transgender person, why would you want to be affiliated with a party that is literally trying to
kill
destroy you?
Exactly. You would think after all this time now, it's been, 5 years in her show, and like she's had like the top transgender community activists in her circle trying to tell her.
I'm sure they are.
She don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear it.
So, these are the things that are problematic.
Very problematic.
Problematic to our community.
Wow.
And then finally, if we have time, T.I. and Tiny are back in the news. They issued a new statement on all these allegations.
Oof.
And I want to try to tie that into, I don't know if that makes sense, tie that into some of the Grindr murders and things that have happened over the last few years.
Okay.
Try to tie it.
Yeah.
Okay. Stuff like that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So the 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
As my grandma would say.
Yes, it is.
So how have you seen the impact, the change, the growth? Was the vision of how you started, how you are now? Or?
That's a good question. It's just interesting that people listen. Like you go into it, like you're like, okay, maybe my family or friends will hear it and things like that, and maybe a couple people here and there. But as it's over time and more people listen to it and like DM you and email you like stories or hey, we're praying for you even and things like that, you're just like, that's the part of it I didn't expect, quite honestly.
Right.
It was awesome during last year, just going through a lot of the stuff we were going through, like with Black Lives Matter. Okay. That to have the show week in, week out with those two, it's almost turned into a therapy for us. Because at least we know during the 2 hours that we're recording, that at least we could have a conversation with someone that gets it.
Now,
do
you find, and this is something that I find a problem, but do you find yourself editing yourself before you? That's all. I'm always, because of what the medium I have.
Exactly. That's the good thing about the podcast. Like we say, right, wrong, or indifferent. 99% of what we say, it's literally right there in the moment. Yes, we know topically what we're going to talk about and things like that, but we try not to overproduce it, quite honestly, because we want it to be, this is where we were then. Right. And it's just like, and if our opinion changes in a year or two, okay, so be it. We'll address it. Be like, I know we said X, Y, Z, but how I'm feeling today, I don't quite even agree with myself from that. And this is the growth moment we've had. So no, we probably share too much, quite frankly.
See, that's part of the problem sometimes. We're sharing so much of ourselves and so much of our thoughts, and then we're like, do I really want to be out there and say that?
Right, yeah.
Who's waving at us? Hello,
Phenomenal.
Ivy, how are you? Thank you for joining us for even just a little moment. We're having a conversation. We're here at WERUradio Studios in beautiful downtown Atlanta.
Yes.
Kerel Revis, who is one of the hosts of the Minoritea. You'll never be able to say it like the other way again.
Exactly.
Is here in the studio with us, so please make sure you go onto their YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
And subscribe.
Please do.
And like.
And then our anniversary is this weekend. We are having a live wig party, so please tell your friends, your neighbors, your aunties, your uncles, your nieces, your cousins, your baby daddies, baby mamas, whatever. But yeah, I think just the most thing is just like, it's just weird to connect with people that you don't even know, have never seen, and creating what we call is our community. Like, we don't call them fans, we don't call them listeners. It's literally our community, and building that up. So that's been the coolest thing that I didn't foresee from the get-go.
Yeah, it's always different how you see people, like when we post stuff up on YouTube, and
Yeah.
you see the comments or the react or the views.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's like,
they want to
oh,
listen to that?
right.
Right. Okay.
It's bizarre. Because, like, as mundane some days I think our lives are,
Mhm.
it's interesting to somebody.
You know, that's one of the things about the We Are More Crew, because like we decided that we'll have conversations about stuff like this.
Yes.
Because other people are already talking about it. And
Absolutely.
They want to talk about it.
They
too.
sure do.
Or at least hear what you say about it. So, like we do when we're fussing at the screen. But do you know that I made no sense?
Yeah.
They can't hear you. But
Right.
Exactly.
So true.
Right.
So yeah, like I think another part of it is like we I guess along that same line, having to talk maybe more pop culture than maybe we thought. Which, I mean, and like you said, that's what people are talking about.
Mhm.
Like, they're already on Twitter, so let's talk about it.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the caveats too. I was
You
like,
know,
yeah, this social media and all this stuff, you gotta talk about what
we
we
got
got.
exactly.
That's the conversations they're having.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And honestly, that's a conversation we probably would have had at brunch or something. So it's like, if we're going to talk about it elsewhere, let's talk about it on the podcast.
Right.
So
Right. So out of the episodes that you've done in the last 2 years, and we're having conversations so that you won't see us just sitting here.
right.
Out of the episodes that you had over the 2 years, what is the one that you said, that was the one for me, or was cathartic, or...
There's a couple. There was one last summer, literally, I think it was the week or the week after George Floyd got killed, and you just hear the raw, we cried on it. Like, it was just so raw in that moment, because you were just tired. Like, COVID was like crazy. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, it was just too much at once. And that episode, I was like, wow, okay, we really out here being vulnerable because we didn't edit ourselves. Literally how we were feeling in that moment, you hear on that episode. And so that's one of them that always sticks out to me. There was one recently, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, one to two. With Surface, there's another podcast called Surface Level. Hey, Surface Level, if you hear
I think
this.
I've seen them too, yes. I haven't seen the person, but I've seen them on the gram.
Great guys. That was a fun episode because it was like the most people we've had on an episode, because they have 3 guys and there's 3 of us. So it was 6 people just talking. But it turned out to be great. And it was 6 gay black men. And so a lot of the feedback we got from that episode was just like, it was cool just to see 6 gay black men and the friendship and the camaraderie and things like that. And that's maybe a point that I probably didn't foresee either. Just simply that you might not even just see gay black friends talking and having a relationship that's not sexual and sexualized. I mean, we talk about sex and things like that, but just showing that friend,
Wait, man.
Right.
I feel like I need to cover myself.
Exactly. It's like, ooh, Jesus.
Right.
But, and so that's another part that I'm proud of, is just showing the friendship. Because a lot of times you don't see that in the media. You don't see that a lot of places too often without it becoming sexualized. So I'm proud of that. But just to have 6 gay black men on an episode, keying and talking about serious issues, that was a cool one recently that also sticks out.
All right, so out of the Motley crew, who's the cool one? Who's the nerd? Who's the horrible gossip? And who's the mother hen?
Oh, God.
That's all the personality.
Right, exactly. I think we all have aspects of that. I'm probably the nerd because I just like learning and things like that. So I'm always spouting off random crap. Who's the mother hen? Probably between Dewan and I, probably the mother hens. Dewan probably just because that's more his spirit.
Or the father roosters. The
father rooster.
Pronouns are important.
What was the cool one? Drell. I think we all have a moment of cool. Drell's just the spot, the hothead a lot of times. He's the one you're going to know how Drell is feeling. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That is Jarrell's spirit, and that's why we love her so much. But that's why, like, looking at what I want Minority Report to be, I knew we were going to have those different personalities. Because even though, yes, we're gay black men, we're 3 different gay black men. Yes, we might agree that Beyonce's queen. Yes, we might agree that Serena's queen, this and that. But then sometimes when you get into the nuances, we don't always agree,
Yeah.
and we let that air out
And
as
that's
well.
important. That's important.
Absolutely.
Because if everybody's agreeing on it, it's
And that's boring.
boring.
It's
Right.
like, and you're not growing.
Right.
You're not growing. There's moments where I'm like, in the moment, I don't agree. No, and I'm gonna tell you to your face.
Right, right.
But then after you kind of listen to the edit, you're like, oh, well, hold on, they had a point. Okay, I can take that little nugget. And that's okay. And the community, they enjoy that part as well because they're like, oh, girl, y'all got into it this week on the episode, didn't you?
Right.
And literally, we'll get into it. And then at the end of the episode, be like, hey, girl, I'll call you tomorrow. You know, like, it's not that it's not nothing, but it's just like, we're not taking it so personally. It's not an attack against us. It's just like, this is where I stand. This is what I believe in. Take it or leave it. I'm going to say it to you.
Right.
And again, that's how you grow and be like, you know what, DeJuan did have a point. Oh, you know what, Gerald did have a point there, actually, now that I'm calmed down and out my feelings or whatever it may be.
Right.
But yeah, like, I enjoy having the different perspectives. And then, like, we'll have guests on and them even being comfortable. We try to have a setting where it's comfortable enough for them to provide their vantage point as well, if it doesn't even agree with ours, and that's okay.
Right.
So,
well, then that's that. I think a lot of times we want to but a lot of people want to have guests that agree with their viewpoint, and that's boring.
Exactly.
That's boring.
And we got to provide something for the community so they grow. Maybe there's things that we already know, but there's things that the community would DM us, be like, can you guys talk about XYZ or have someone on that goes around this, whether it be money, whether it be prep, whether it be doctor stuff, like the episode that's out this week, new episode out right now, by the way. We had, her name's Dr. Crystal Beal, the queer doc, and her specialty is around transgender community and providing them expert care and providing them hormones and things like that, and being able to do it like via telemedicine, especially with like the Arkansas, even though the governor just vetoed it.
Yeah.
That was like hot when we recorded it last week, and we're just like, what are their options? Like, okay, you're in Arkansas and you can't get medical care. What are their options? So providing information to the community as well is very key for us as we grow.
I find that we talk about it here on the show too. Why is everybody so upset about transgender people?
I don't get it.
Why make it an issue if it's not an issue?
And then step your game up then. If you're going to lose, step your game up. Put in the work.
I had a conversation with Sophia, who was here on the station, and we were talking about that. And there's still this misnomer, which I think is so archaic, but the argument, the opinion was that men are stronger than women. And so they're automatically, I said, that's to say that Serena Williams can't win a tennis match against a man.
Exactly.
We've seen it happen.
Exactly.
That's to say that a woman can't win a foot race against a man.
Right.
We've seen it happen.
Exactly.
That's to say a woman can't compete in weightlifting competitions
right.
and lift the same amount of weight that a man can. We've seen it happen.
Exactly.
So
it always stems from some kind of insecurity and some kind of ego moment. And it's just like, once you strip that out, like what is there left? It's literally, you going to win or you going to lose?
Either. The best prepared person is going to lose.
Exactly.
And I was like, but I said at the same time, you're okay with a woman playing men's sports.
Houseway.
Get out of my head because I was about to say it.
Houseway. Literally. I don't get it. It's a lot. So it's just like, I feel like this is just a new Republican thing to rile up more fear. Exactly. Yeah, that's and it's just like we're able to get married now, so they're like, what else can we try to destroy? The transgender part of the community.
Since the world didn't fall apart,
exactly.
animals didn't start marrying
people. It's like we still gotta pay our bills. Right. Like I'm still sleepy. Right. Like nothing changed.
I still gotta pay for the divorce if I decide to have it.
That part.
That part.
It's like you still gonna get paid. The lawyer.
The rest of you.
It's wild. It's wild.
We got 49 seconds.
Okay.
Hey, you guys. Let me see if I can type this in.
Come on, Jan. Janet's another one that always comes up on the podcast.
She's the goddess.
Bass.
Right. I just put our
perfect
link in there, just in case.
Let me hit this.
Go.
Come on, laugh for us, Janet. feels so good when I think of you.
It is the We Argue Morning Crew. I am George Daigle, and yes, you're in the right place to get sizzling subjects and trending topics. In case you have just tuned in, I have with me in the studio the one and only Kerel Revis. Why do I is that V in Revis?
I know it
I just
happens.
wanted to put that in there somewhere.
It happens.
But Kerel Revis from the Minoritea Report. I'm telling you, it's going to stick.
Ow.
I'm going to say it until it
I
sticks.
love it. I'm here for it.
We're here in the studio and we're talking about all of things trending topics and sizzling subjects. Now, we talked about Angela Stranton in the last segment. And there's another transgender person. Well, Angela Stranton is not transgender. Oh my God, please don't come to that. But we're going to talk about another issue. But let's talk about when you came up with this podcast, how did the name stick? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so just obviously with anything, you try to come up with a catchy name. There was a couple other iterations that didn't stick. Then literally I was laying in bed one night and I was like, you know, we're going to be spilling tea. And like, just think it's because it's people of color. I'm like, minority. Ooh, that okay, Minority Report. I kind of like that. Okay. And I sent it to Dewan and Jarrell, and they're like, we like that too, girl. And so I was like, there we go, Minority Report.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it works.
It works. We love a teaism. Because we're like, yo, auntie. So I'm Auntie Kerel. The community, we like to spread positivity. So it's just a lot of teaisms you can play off of that too.
You copyrighted all that, right?
Girl, yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, not all the T's, but definitely the name and the aunties and everything. Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to tell you. Now, the aunties will be celebrating 2 years.
Yes.
Did you see yourself still being here in 2 years?
Yes, absolutely. One way or the other. Like, at least I know for me, it was going to stick around. Like, I know I could probably be a little overbearing and things like that because it's my baby. Like, and I care. And, like, I just see a broader, bigger vision for it. So even if Dewan and Jarrell said, I'm tired of this, I'm out, there's still going to be some sort of Minority Report because I just feel there's gifts in my being that need to get out that I can help our community via this. So yes, I absolutely thought it'd be here for 2 years and 2 more years and 10 more years and 20 more years.
So the co-host of the Minority Report, you just heard Beyonce say, Kelly.
Oh, no, I did not say that.
I don't want to be in a group.
No,
I'm good.
But they can put out their solo albums if they want to too. That's the thing. Like, and no, we will forever, Destiny fulfilled. We will still be together and have a chat group at the end of the day because at the end of the day we're friends. Yeah. But I did think this was going to be here, and I think they would say the same. I think they would say that in 2 years, yes, we thought we'd definitely be here and continuing to grow and continuing to contribute to our community. Because at the end of the day, we're in the community, like without the podcast. And these are things conversations we would have been having nonetheless. These are opportunities we would have been trying to present to our community. These are things that we were trying to help our community and aid our community nonetheless. So the podcast is just another avenue to get that out there. But even without it, in our individual lives, we find ways to aid our community and and continue to show that spectrum of our community. So yeah, and a little competitive too. It's like you want to be good at what you're doing.
Right.
It's a lot of work. Thank you. I say that all the time.
Thank you, TS, for that. We're gonna use it forever. Now let's get into one of these trending topics.
Yeah.
We're talking about some problematic things here, and this may or may not be problematic for some people, but for me, girl, what is you doing? Caitlyn Jenner is planning on running for governor.
Sit down.
That's the first sit down. Of California, that's the second sit down. And the third, as a Republican.
I have several seats.
Why, girl? See, I'm not going to misgender her. I'm be for real.
Yeah.
But girl, what is you thinking? The Republican Party is the party that is
against you,
your existence, your reason for being. Every time you turn around, they're coming up with new laws to discriminate against LGBTQ, especially transgender people. Well, anyway, the transgender Olympian and reality TV star is talking to people about launching her bid if Governor Gavin Newsom gets recalled. She's the second LGBTQ Republican to show interest in the race. Now,
Who's the first?
don't know who
Okay.
that fool is. Jenner, a former Trump supporter, is one of the best known trans people in America, but she's not that well liked inside the community. Now, she has made waves for her tartless comments. This is not my words. These are words from the LGBTQnation.com. And her support for Republican parties while it relentlessly attacks the trans community. One person from the community says, the transgender community is diverse in background and thought, and yet we are overwhelmingly opposed to the policies of the Republican Party, who have shown repeatedly they see us as unworthy of human rights. Caitlyn Jenner may be trans, but she does not represent us.
I know that's right.
At all. So what are you thinking? I mean,
it's a lot. She's very problematic for me because she has shown time and time again that she does not want to grow and does not want to educate herself and does not want to truly be an ally within our own community, within her community.
I think it also speaks to this, and this is not to misgender her in any way, but listen to my statement. I think that Caitlyn Jenner has had the opportunity to experience white male privilege. Mm-hmm. And so her white male privilege experience, see, I'm trying to say it right. Her white male privilege experience
still shines through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. Mm-hmm. And I would at least like to have seen her be more visible within the community, fighting against the last administration, to at least potentially show that she's growing. But I haven't seen any of that. No. And not to say maybe she has, and the media hasn't picked up on it. But my gut is telling me that's probably not true. So it's just like I feel that privilege again is like, oh, I could be governor, I could do this, and not contribute anything. Like I don't see what she's going to be able to aid our community at all. Quite frankly. So she just needs to have several seats, like sit in Malibu on the beach, girl, and just chill out because go get Kylie's, get some coin from her and call it good, girl. Like right off in the sunset. Yeah,
do another makeup tutorial or whatever.
Something because I'm not here for it.
Not at all.
But I'm here for the other LGBTQ person that's running. I'm here for folks in our community running for law or for like governor and different seats and things like that, all the way here for that, because we need to infiltrate these laws that are against us for the next generation, because these laws last forever. So I'm here for that, but not her.
Yeah, I
said what I said.
I'm with you, Caitlyn. I'm not feeling anything you put down. The moment you said I can get with the running for governor, I can get with that. But the moment you said you're running for the Republican Party, I'm like,
that's it.
But why?
Why, Sway? How, Sway?
How? Well, one final story, ladies and gentlemen. It's been in the news for quite some time, and it's problematic for the community in a lot of ways. But more women have come forward to accuse T.I. and Tiny of sexual assault. And through their representative, the couple has now issued a new statement. Now, in the past week, more women have come forward to accuse them of sexual assault. They said the Harrises are waiting for their accusers to reveal themselves publicly. By continuing to hide behind anonymous allegations, the unnamed accusers effectively render themselves not credible and unworthy of belief. Now, that's according to their statement. We say, let the light shine on their identities so we can go about disproving the accusations. The unnamed individuals are being represented by Tyrone A. Blackburn. And I have a problem with this lawyer because in earlier statements about this story, he said, I need to vet the other women who have come forward. I have never heard of somebody's story being vetted. Yeah. Either it is or it isn't.
Yeah. And when it comes to just like sexual assault and things of that nature, I tend to believe the people that have been assaulted, because we've just seen time and time again, especially for women, that they're silenced and they feel a guilt. They feel that burden of, if I tell what occurred, the world comes against me. You know, and it's just like, and I know there's people that lie. I know there's people that are out for clout and things like that. But my initial gut is always to try to believe the accuser until proven right or wrong. But it's just like sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire, you know, and but then it's like on the flip side, I've been in positions now, like sexual assault or anything like that, where like people will lie on you and things like that. And you're like, that feels horrible. So it's just like, it's hard nonetheless, but it's just like, if they reveal themselves, then we just know how the internet is. We know how social media is, and they're going to troll them so bad that they won't get their day of vindication.
But here's the other side of that coin.
Yeah,
you have T.I. and Tiny, who are constantly being lambasted, saying they're horrible, saying that this happened and they did this. No names, no proof, no nothing.
Yeah.
So whether or not these women's names, and I believe a couple of men, as a matter of fact, ever come forward, these people's career, their show's been canceled, you know, endorsements have been canceled just because of hearsay. Yeah. So I think it's tough. While I know that the law is created to protect the victim, I get it, and I know that there are people who are victims of sexual assault, and the like. I think in this particular case, why are you, the attorney, you, the accusers, making these public claims, but shrouding your identity, shrouding your name, shrouding, you know, the facts behind it? Right. Name the dates. At least name the dates and the places.
So you just need more data points. Right. Yeah.
Instead of just saying, right, you did it. Yeah. And then, you know, running, you're it. You know. Yeah. That's what I have about, and especially in this day and age of you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
That's a true statement.
I think it's here's the word of the day, problematic. Yeah. That you are able to make accusations against, that's true, you know, against anyone without.
It's a lose-lose situation. It really is. Like, because it's just like, if it did occur, then they need to be held accountable. But if it didn't occur, the folks, quote unquote, making it up need to be held accountable. But then now it's already negatively affected Tiny and T.I. So it's a lose-lose situation. Yeah. I hope the truth comes out. If it did happen, I hope the accused or the victims are able to, I don't know what the right word is, feel better. I don't know how you would feel better, but at least feel vindicated that it's just like, okay, I got my truth out. Exactly. Yeah. But if you're lying,
why you lying?
Exactly.
Well, this has been a great conversation with you. I know we only have about an hour because you got to run, and I'm so glad. But hey, the door is wide open.
Hey, I'll come back whenever.
And if you guys want, maybe we could do a collab and
absolutely
get all of them on.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the world is. I don't know if we're ready for
it. Woo! Yes, you are. The world's ready for all the aunties, all of us.
Well, congratulations on your anniversary. Tell us once again when the celebration is and how people can participate.
The celebration will be this Saturday, April 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Zoom link will be in our social, Minoritea, TEA report on social. Find us there, and new episodes every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts and YouTube.
All right. Well, thank you so much once again. We got to go. Next hour, more sizzling subjects, trending topics, and great music. Good morning.
Perfect.
That was like way too fast. That was over.
That was fun though. That was fun.
So yes, sir. Anytime you want to come, I would love to have that.
Yeah,
it was a good conversation.
Absolutely.
And good luck on everything in the future. What are plans for the?
So the anniversary stuff this week, and just more collaborations. We kind of like, there's a couple other podcasters that we've just become good friends with. Quite frankly, just doing what we do, that have kind of shown us the ropes, quite frankly, and then also having us on their podcast quite often. So just kind of expanding our reach, expanding our faces, kind of conquering and dividing. The hard part is just like, since we are in 3 different cities, it's hard for us, all 3 of us, to come up here real quick and things like that. Yeah. So just trying to find the different opportunities within each of the cities, but continue to grow Minority Report, more content. We have merch coming very soon. Breaking that here on the IG Live. Merch is coming sooner than you know.
Good for you. It's all about
right? let's see what else. Just a lot of stuff coming up. We're on quite a few podcasts coming up in the next 2 months, like a lot. So just continue to grow and whatever opportunities continue to come, and then just long term, obviously, just continue to grow. Probably more media. We really just want to kind of find like a charity aspect of it. We have a couple ideas for that part. So yeah, just a lot. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna say goodbye. He's gonna head out of the studio, and I'm gonna get back into this thing and get some more sizzling. So you know what I'm doing. So make it a great one. Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Ciao.